Welcome to the online training for the Bambu Studio 3D Slicer. With the Bambu Studio Slicer installed, you should see a screen similar to this. Navigate to the top left and click Prepare. When you first enter into the Bambu Studio Slicer, you'll see this little gear icon. Click on that. When this page is all loaded up, click Clear All and choose the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon and the Bambu Lab H2D. Then click Confirm. When it is confirmed, make sure it says Texture here and make sure it is a 0.4 diameter nozzle. For the next step, we have the filament. Again, click on the gear icon here. Do Clear All and then scroll over until you see Generic PLA. Then click Confirm. Our Bambu printers are equipped with an AMS system that can hold up to 4 colors. To add colors, click the plus icon. To remove colors, click the minus icon. To change the color, simply click on the square here and choose a color. Next is the process, or the settings. By default, advanced is turned off. If you ever want to look into more advanced settings, simply check that on to get more options. For today, we will keep it off. The first thing to pay attention to is the pre-built profiles that Bambu has provided. Clicking on it, you can see that there are quite a few different profiles. For our printers in the Makerspace, please use the 0.12 to the 0.28 profiles. For today, we're going to stick on the 0.2 standard profile. Clicking that in the first section is the quality. This is that layer height that was mentioned here in the profile. Next is seam position. There are a few different options there that you can change between. The next section, strength, up at the top. First is the wall loops. Wall loops are important for the strength of your part. Increasing the wall loops increases the strength of your part up to a certain degree. By default, it's 2, and that should work for majority of the cases. If your part is going to be under high stress, I recommend increasing it from 3 to 4 layers. For today, we'll keep it at the default of 2. Next is the top and bottom shells. These profiles work great, so you shouldn't need to change that. Down here at the bottom is your infill. Bambu Studios calls it sparse infill. It's defaulted to 15% and default is grid. I generally recommend gyroid, so if you want to change it to that, be my guest. The next section is support. By default, it is turned off. I will have you guys go ahead and click on that. There are 4 different print profiles for the support: normal auto, tree auto, normal manual, tree manual. Tree will work for majority of the cases, so we'll keep it on tree. Threshold angle as well at 30 should be fine. The last section is others. The main thing to pay attention to here is if you're going to be printing something that has sharp 90-degree corners or is large flat surfaces, I recommend you change the brim type from auto to outer brim only. You can also do outer and inner brim too. We'll keep it on auto for now. You do not need to mess with the prime tower or flush settings. And those are all the main settings that you will ever need to pay attention to. To add a part, up here in the top left is the Add Part cube. So click on that and locate a file. Today I'm going to be using this little dinosaur I found. When the part is not clicked, you'll notice that there are all these up top are grayed out. When I click on it, they all open up. We'll start here in the middle. This is your move tool, rotate tool, scale tool, lay on face, and cut into part. Those are the 5 main icons that you will be using within the Bambu Studios. If your part comes in and it is too large, let's say it's over here, you'll get this warning. So you might need to scale down your part or move your part more towards the center of the plate. Also, your part might come in sideways, like so. That's where you can use this lay on face, where it will generate face profiles that you can click on to lay your part flat. If your part is too big for the build plate, no matter if you scale it down or rotate it, you can always cut it. The cutting tool, it generates a face plane that you can move up and down and rotate to cut your model into pieces. You can also add connectors like plugs, dowels, snaps to be able to assemble it together easily. The next option here is painting on supports. Again, the auto supports should work great, but there are some cases where you'll need to paint on the supports. Also, you can paint on the seam if you have a specific seam location that you want. You can add text to your model. And lastly, you can color your model. With the AMS systems and the ability to do up to 4 colors, the multicolor function is really handy. Clicking on the paint bucket, you will see the colors provided here. Again, you can add up here, and you can also change the colors here. If we're going to paint, we want to be on a different color than the model already is. By default, it is on a circle tool, so you can draw just directly on the dinosaur. Or, and my preference, is to use the fill bucket tool. Clicking on the fill bucket tool, making sure that edge detection is checked, you can click on specific parts of the dino and color them nicely. I would say my dino is looking great. With that, you'll now notice when I exit, there is a tower here. This is called the prime tower. It will have to change between colors, and it will create a prime tower to purge between filament colors. If you're all happy with how that is set up, then you can slice your plate. When you slice your plate, it gives you a breakdown of the amount of material used for each color, as well as a total material use, as well as the total time. So this little dino with his support there will take 16 hours, 29 minutes. If I were to go back and say, I don't have that time, I don't want to do the multicolor, I can remove the colors, reslice, and now that it's going to only use 63 grams, and it's only going to take 2 hours. Up here at the top, I always like to change it to line type. This shows you what the support is and what the actual part is. Over on the right hand side, if we zoom in, you can click this down, and you can see internally within the print. As you can see, the infill is pretty dense. So if we want to print this guy more quickly, we would change the profile from a 0.2 to a 0.28. Change the strength down here from the gyroid and the 15%. We can bring this down to 5%. Reslice. Now he's going to only take an hour and a half, and it's only going to use 43 grams of material. If I drag through, you see it's way more sparse, but this would still be what I would consider a very strong print. If you are all happy with how your model is laid out and looks, then you can click the down arrow here and go to Export Plate Sliced File. The Bambu X1 printers use a micro SD card. The Bambu H2D printer uses a USB flash drive. Both should be provided at the Innovation Center. If we go back to prepare and we switch over to the H2D, a few things are there. First is the inclusion of the left nozzle and the right nozzle. Our AMSs are set up so that the AMS is connected to the right nozzle. So if we click on the edit here, we want to make sure that it has 1 for this AMS slot, not 0, 1. The left nozzle is an external spool, so we'll keep it on not installed. As you can see, the build plate for the H2D is quite a bit larger. If we click on the add plate here, this is where you can set up a large project. So let's say this dyno was larger and you needed to chop it up into multiple pieces. You can set that all up within this one program. You can have multiple plates to be able to set all the file up so you're ready to print. These are interactable buttons on the side of the plate. You can click the X to remove them and get back down to your singular plate. If we slice this plate on the H2D, it's going to take 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 39 grams of material. The H2D is slightly slower of a printer, but it has a larger build volume. Again, if you are happy with how that is, you click on the down arrow, export plate slice file, click on that, save it to your desktop locally, and then save it to either the flash drive or micro SD card, depending on which printer you are using. That concludes the online portion of the Bambu Studios hands-on training.